First, President Biden trying to put a spin on the bad economy. He is doubling down on his insistence that Republicans will make inflation worse if they take control of Washington in the midterm elections.
The Republicans have made it clear. First thing they want to do is most of them voted against the bill to reconstruct America through the infrastructure bill, highways, roads. You know, they all voted against, to a person, voted against the Inflation Reduction Act, which provides for environmental security and safety. They don't have a platform other than tear down what I've been able to do, we've been able to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they're for.
Well, not only are Democrats joining him and touting Biden's economic policies, Nancy Pelosi says when people start talking about inflation, Democrats should change the subject.
We feel proud of what we've done. We feel proud of the president to help America's working families to lower their cost and in doing so to reduce the deficit. People talk about inflation, as I heard him there. We have to change that subject.
Okay. The problem for Democrats, though, is that inflation is at the top of the minds of voters. And Republicans say Biden's spending sprees, well, they've just made it worse.
The fact of the matter is his policies have made our economy worse. We brought in over $4 trillion into the federal government's coffers last year. We spent nearly $7 trillion. That is literally what causes inflation. Right now, we've got a Democratic Congress that rubber stamps everything Joe Biden does. And he wants more spending that results in inflation.
I mean, talk about the disconnect. I mean, first of all, Nancy Pelosi says, stop talking about inflation. Hello, that's what everyone is talking about. That's all anyone is talking about, inflation and the economy. What is she thinking?
Well, I can't say. I mean, she's crazy. I mean, look, Americans are paying $445 more per month. But have you guys seen Billy Madison? Like, when I hear Joe Biden talk, it reminds me of that scene with the principal where he's saying, you know, we're nowhere in your rambling, incoherent thought. We're even close to a rational thought. And then he's like, we're all dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul. That's how I feel every time Joe Biden talks. Look, there's a reason why there's I did that stickers on every gas station around America, why Americans are cheering Let's Go Brandon at sporting events around the country. We have all seen the destruction under this man. They cannot hide from this. The media always cover for them. The left always lies, but they can't lie on this one because Americans are seeing it. They're feeling it every time they go to fill up, when they're paying their electricity bill. So Americans are onto it, and the lying's just not going to work this time.
The media does try to cover it up. Not all media, but a lot of media. The mainstream media, that is. Watch this interview on MSNBC with Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, interviewed by Ali Velshi.
It has been transformed into something that Republicans, in particular running for Congress, are blaming Joe Biden and Democrats for specifically, when in fact there is no economic evidence or mathematical evidence or any other kind of evidence that that's actually true.
It's absolutely not true. Isn't it interesting, with everything else that's going on in the world, that is the sole issue that the Republicans can rest on?
I don't know if you're shaking your head because I actually can't believe what I just heard. I have to actually read it for myself. He actually just said, when in fact there was no economic evidence or mathematical evidence. Have you gone shopping yet or recently, or filled up your gas tank, Sean, or I don't know, just done anything that every American does daily?
In the last 2 years, the 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency, Democrats have spent an additional $5 trillion. That's outside of the military and Social Security and every agency of government, an extra $5 trillion. So massive amounts of money have poured into the economy that has caused inflation. But I look at Nancy Pelosi. I know they've legalized drugs in San Francisco. I wonder if she's smoking crack, because everyone, is, to your point, is talking about inflation. You can't just change the topic because that is the topic. And if you're a Republican, you're like, listen, we got rid of bloodletting in the 19th century to fix people's health problems. Your policies are a boot on the neck of the American people. Republicans are in a fight to make you take your boot off their neck and let them live freely. Let things go back to a free enterprise system, less government, more freedom. That's what Republicans are going to do. And yes, they're going to be opposed to your agenda because it's hurting people and their constituents.
Yeah. Joe.
The clip you played before, that's a guy named Ali Velshi. You may remember him from the summer of 2020. He was the guy that was in Wisconsin saying that actually these protests are mostly peaceful. And behind him, it looked like the Nakatomi Plaza at the end of Die Hard, right? Just completely on fire. So this is the journalist that we're talking about. And who trusts anybody wearing an outfit like that? So to quote Billy Madison with Ali Belshi saying that inflation is a myth, everyone in this room is now dumber for having heard that. I award him no points, and may God have mercy on his soul. We're quoting a movie from 27 years ago. Why not? Here are the polls here, guys. And this is incredible. This comes from ABC. Only 21% of voters believe that Democrats can handle inflation better than Republicans. Republicans have a 15-point lead there. But Republicans have a 14-point lead on gas prices and their ability to handle that. Republicans have a 12-point lead on their ability to handle the economy. So you look at those three things, and they're down double digits. Again, no red wave tsunami be coming. And that's why, by the way, no candidate out there right now in the swing states is campaigning on the Inflation Reduction Act. You never hear this mentioned in speeches because no one believes this thing's going to reduce inflation.
You know what? Who doesn't believe those polls? The president. The president is in utter denial, number one, that the economy isn't doing poorly. He says it's going great, that we're not in the middle of a recession. We are not suffering from inflation. They're all delusional. But when it comes to the polls, here's what Biden thinks of that, because he's skeptical of that as well.
I'm not sure about the polls. Because, the way people conduct polls today, it's hard. 90% of it is you get on a telephone where you have to call 7 times to get somebody to answer the phone, number one. Number two, a lot of what we've done and we've passed has not kicked in yet.
Okay, it hasn't kicked in yet. But what about these poll numbers, Mr. Biden, President Biden? Fox News poll 2024 vote, if election were today, 54% would vote for someone else. That's a pretty big number. Another Fox News poll about the national economic conditions, 73% say they are getting worse. So the president does not believe in polls as long as the polls do not support his position. I'm sure if those numbers were flipped, he would wholeheartedly believe in the polls.
Who's the 21% who thinks it's getting?
I got to go bowling with those people sometime.
The 21% are the ones that are about to get free college.
Well, the 21% are the Democrats who go to D.C. and then profit off of it and get rich, like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, who are completely insulated from the policies that they're, the noose that they're putting the neck on the American family, right? They're the ones who are insulated from the policies that they're. And can you imagine being an American voter and you are struggling right now? You can't pay your bills. You're worried about being able to provide for your family. And then you have Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden saying, we're just going to switch the topic when inflation comes up, or you're not hurting or you're not suffering, and basically just telling them to shut up.
But the more time we've spent with Joe Biden, the worse that number has gotten. It used to be higher. When he first came into office, he had decent poll numbers. Right. And the more he has done, the lower his poll numbers have gotten, because America sees it doesn't work. We don't want what Joe Biden is selling us. And I think inflation, right now we talk about the 8.5% number. It's horrible with gas prices and food prices. But if you look at the course of his presidency, inflation is up from the day he took office, up 12.5%. We are 12.5% poorer since Joe Biden has been in office. Yeah. That's a real number.
It's 6 times higher. And when he questions the polls, look, we could be accused of, we're cherry picking a poll. We took a Fox News poll and now we're playing the worst stuff. Every poll looks like this, where an overwhelming majority of Americans don't want him to run because they think he's too old and too incompetent, and they all believe, not all, but 3/4 at least, believe we're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That's why Democrats don't have a bumper sticker right now.
And it's not just Fox News polls, for example. I mean, you just brought up ABC polls. Okay?
CBS.
So they only want to believe the polls that are in their favor. I mean,
there are none
in their favor. It's just such typical politics. First of all, I just want to get to this real quick, Sean.
Don't point at
Another portion.
You're in trouble,
quiet.
Sean.
My mom always taught me not to point. I apologize.
You be a good boy and you sit right there.
My mom's already annoyed with me that I wore sneakers yesterday, so I don't want to heave her off today.
Not today.
All right. So, no, I did. I listened to my mom. Here's another portion of the interview where the president says that voters should actually see that he is really getting a lot done. You may not see it, but he is. Watch.
I think the best way to make the judgment is to watch me. Am I slowing up? Am I don't have the same pace? Right now, knock on wood, don't want to jinx myself. I'm in good health. All of everything physically about me is still functioning well. So, and mentally too, so.
He's physically
as he hits himself
well.
in the head.
Knock on wood.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I mean, look. The doctor has said that he is fine. He is, last physical exam, he's fine. We do wonder what else is going on.
Remember when Bill Clinton said, "I feel your pain," right? Acknowledging where people are at in their situation with the pain that this economy is inflicting on families is pretty remarkable to say, listen, I get where you're coming from, and I'm going to work to fix it. But to deny
that's what it
that
is.
people are going through this hardship is a horrible politics, because if you don't understand a problem, you can't fix their problem.
Right. No, if you can't relate with voters, then they're not going to relate with you, and you are going to be unrelatable. So, I mean, and that's not how you get elected.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.